now that we've packaged the application, we've uploaded our first release, the next step is to design the launcher. So the launcher, this is just a sample launcher that comes with Release Manager. It's got a couple of the basics in that you need. You'll notice there's a tree view on the left with all the components. And there's also this executables list inside. This is the executables picked from your first release. So if you haven't put your first release down, then you shouldn't be building your designer yet. So I'm just going to navigate a couple of the things on the screen, take you through them. So on the right are the resources. These are individual images or fonts which are uploaded to the server and downloaded by the client. You can change the way the launcher looks at any time, and your clients will actually download the new launcher and get the new layout with the new images and the new start buttons and the new principles immediately. So there's a couple of things that happen with the labels, and there's a reasonably comprehensive pop-up help on top of each of the items. So for example, you've got actions, run executables, upload. We're going to go through those one at a time, but let's just start with the templates that you come with. So there's a light and a dark template, and you can also save your designs out as templates and load them back. So if I switch to the dark template, it looks like that. These images are updated, and I can press back and we'll go back to the previous template. A couple of things. This is a grid, so when you're moving items around. This is a snap, so when you select something and move it, it tries to align to the nearest item. And last but not least, let's switch it back off, is a lock. The lock lets you look at how this is going to operate. So this HTML tab here actually points straight to the news, and the default is actually the release manager news. So what you're looking at is the latest release manager news. You don't need to put these items down. So let's take a step back and go and look at the executables. So it always starts off with a default executable called your application. Now obviously this is ig game, so I'm going to change that to ig game. That is not the name of your file, that's just the name of the executable that you want to look at. Oops, close launcher. So close launcher tells it when it executes this executable, should it close launcher. You can make multiple executables. You could have a level editor, for example, and when you click on the button to launch the level editor, it would leave the launcher running. But if you say close launcher, in this case, it'll actually close it. Now, the most important part of this is underneath edit properties. So when I click edit properties, I get a better look at all the aspects that go with this particular executable. Run automatically, that's something we can talk about later. So environment variables, arguments that go to the executable, and then the path. So this is where you want it to run in your application in case you have multiple folders. We're going to run it in the root, and we're going to run ig yourgame.exe. So you see it's picked up all the files from our actual game. Now if you have other platforms, they appear here as tabs, and you specify them specifically. So I can specify different Windows 64 arguments. I can specify arguments for all versions, and I can specify environment variables for all versions. So I'm not doing any of those things for this, but that is the amount of comprehensive information you can specify with your executable. So I'm going to save that. My start button. So to run my game, I use the start button, and I'm just going to edit the properties of that and show you in more detail. At the moment, it's run executable, and I need to drop this down and select the executable. So that's how the start button and my executable tie together, and only enable when up to date. So this checkbox here, if I leave this off, it'll allow the user to choose when to update or not. Otherwise, he can't run this otherwise. So save. That way we'd force updates. Another way to force updates is to actually take away the update button. You can see that this button, when we edit it, this is the upgrade, and colors, etc. All of this is in here. So I'm not going to get into too much detail about how to design it. I just wanted to show you the basics. And this default will work for ig. One little detail I wouldn't mind doing, which is to get the icons and images from ig itself and put one of them on the screen. I'm just going to drag this to here. So now I've added that into here. Drag this into there, and it's a bit bigger than I want it to be. So I'm just going to resize this. Okay, so now there's my little. So that's my launcher. You can replace every item on this and start from scratch. Like I said, alpha is on here. There's actually a drop shadow on this. That's what will appear on your desktop. So when you look at the bottom here, it's got the updater. It says not available. So when I upload this layout, it's going to upload all these images. It's going to upload the XML that defines the structure of this layout, but it'll also upload the patching software. So your clients will get a new version of the patching software. So whenever you update Release Manager, when you upload your new layout, you'll also be sending through new versions of your application. So I'm going to upload that now, and as you can see, it's confirming that if I want to update it, because it's going to set the new software across. So I say yes, and that software goes up. Okay, once again, while it's uploading from here, you can go to your FTP details and see the process of it getting uploaded. Okay, so that's been uploaded. Okay, so next video I'll show you how to take your product live, and we'll do the first launch. Thank you very much.